Hello everyone, Rurikhan here with another video, and today I'm going to give you guys a short gameplay impressions of Bayonetta 2 for the Wii U. Nintendo was kind enough to send me Bayonetta 1 and 2 well ahead of release so that I had time to play them and formulate an opinion. So this weekend I went on a complete bender and just played Bayonetta like nobody's business. I had never played the original title, so I had to make amends, and I wanted to make sure I experienced it so I could report on that one as well, since it comes bundled with Bayonetta 2. Naturally, you guys should have already seen my gameplay impressions on Bayonetta 1 for the Wii U on the channel, but in case you guys missed it, there will be a link in the description so that you can check it out. There will also be a long format gameplay impressions for Bayonetta 2 on release day, but for now the embargo only allows for a couple of minutes of gameplay recording. First things first, I know a lot of people are going to be wondering about resolutions and frame rates. Well, both titles output at 1080p, but it's upscaled. I'm not exactly sure what's the native resolution, and both titles run mostly at 60 FPS. I say mostly because they'll dip every now and then, and the in-game cinematics on Bayonetta 2 seem to run at 30 frames a second. Technicalities aside, the games look, feel, and run great. I believe most retail copies, if not all, of Bayonetta 2 will include Bayonetta 1. My advice to everyone is to play the original before you play the sequel. I think the first couple of chapters in Bayonetta 2 will be pretty confusing to anyone who hasn't played the original. If you're curious, my first playthrough of Bayonetta 1 took me around 12 hours in normal difficulty. However, if you just want to get through the story, make sure to play the lower difficulties and you should be able to get through it in less than 10 hours. If you're the completionist type, however, let me tell you, Bayonetta 1 is going to keep you busy for quite some time. There's plenty of reasons to replay levels to improve your score, look for secret levels for power-ups, find collectibles to unlock weapon choices and characters. There's a lot of stuff for you to do. But anyways, what is Bayonetta 2 all about? This game, like its predecessors, is a spectacle fighter where you play as Bayonetta, an Umbra witch that fights angels and demons. One of her sources of power comes from her hair, which is also what she covers her body with, which is why when she performs certain moves, her body is revealed, especially when she does climax moves, the boss finishers. Let's be upfront about this, Bayonetta is an intentionally sexualized character. You'll see plenty of provocative poses, and her clothing will be mostly provocative. So if you're too conservative, or if for some reason you can't look past that aspect of the game, you will most likely not enjoy it. However, if that's not a problem for you, you're going to be in for one hell of a ride. The combat is solid. There's a wide variety of combos that you can perform, which change depending on the weapons you have equipped on your hands and feet. Like its predecessor, there's still angel vinyl spread throughout the levels, which you can then give to Rurikhan on his Gates of Hell bar in order to acquire new weapons. The magic system works differently from the original Bayonetta, allowing you to still perform torture moves if you so desire, but also allowing you to perform an Umbran climax, which is different from the regular boss finisher climax. The Umbran climax just adds wicked weaves to all of your attacks for a short while. Wicked weaves is essentially when Bayonetta uses her hair to form massive fists for punching or feet for kicking. You will usually see these on the final hits of combos. The new mechanic allows you to decide whether you want to go for a torture move on a particular tough enemy, or if you want to save wicked weaves for AoE smashes or even boss fights, adding a new tactical decision to your fights. As you play through the game, there's plenty of things to unlock, from upgrades to Bayonetta's health bar and magic bar, which will be found throughout the regular levels, as well as secret level battle arenas, which will impose challenging conditions on your fight, like time limits, weapon constraints, etc. You'll also be able to unlock new characters to play like Jean and Rurikhan, and new levels for the multiplayer co-op mode. And yes, I did say co-op multiplayer. Bayonetta 2 has a tag climax mode that allows you to play with your friends or random players online in boss fights. All the rewards you unlock in single player can be used in multiplayer, and everything you unlock in multiplayer can be used in single player as well, which is actually pretty nice since you don't have to progress down two separate paths in order to enjoy both aspects of the game. One of my favorite things about Platinum games is how over the top their games tend to get, and Bayonetta 2 stays true to form. They call it a non-stop climax action game, and once you play it, you'll understand exactly what that means. There's a good reason for all the high scores you've seen on the reviews of this title. The visuals look great, the animation work is on a whole nother level, the combat is solid, intuitive, and incredibly responsive, the action is over the top, the frame rate is good. It's really hard to find faults in the game, if I'm to be completely honest. The only thing it might put some people off is the sexualization of the character, as I mentioned previously. Bayonetta 2 is an amazing game, and with the bundled version of Bayonetta 1, it is also an amazing value proposition. This title was one of the reasons why I wanted to start covering Wii U titles, and it is without a doubt one of the best games I've played this year. If you enjoy spectacle fighters, this game is a no-brainer, top of its genre with a bullet. Or multiple bullets, really. This is Bayonetta after all. Thank you very much for watching. Leave me your comments and feedback, and I'll see you in the next one.